Thank you, Khaled sir, esteemed guest, for invitations, and my fellow colleagues. Good afternoon and welcome over here. Our topic of discussion is very evolving for the current world, and that is the reason like we are over here with our fellow colleagues to have an inclusive discussion and collaboration. 5G is a very interesting topic, by the way. Before jumping to the details of the agenda and discussions, it's very important like to understand what exactly 5G networks are and what exactly is the difference between 4G and the 5G networks. 4G, everybody is well aware, but 5G is an entirely different ecosystem, not comparable with the 4G networks. In 5G, apart from low latency and high speed, the business model and the commercial models, specifically the business cases, are entirely different. So I'll say like let's not take 5G as an evolving technology of 4G, which is not the case over here by the way, but it's an entirely different ecosystem. So if we see like the contribution of economy for the 5G network for 2035, it is a very huge impact. That is the reason like with the technological evolution that's happening all over the world, Pakistan and our fellow countries are part of it. What we have estimated and the research reports we have, the 5G ecosystem contribution, I'm not only talking about the 5G networks over here, the 5G complete digital inclusion ecosystem all over the world, going to contribute $13.2 trillion till 2035. That's going to be the 5% of the global GDP contribution. And the impact in terms of job generation and the new skills that we see are evolving all over the world shall be around 23 million new jobs directly related with the 5G technology and the digital ecosystem related with that. The roadmap for the 5G is pretty much clear to us and even to our APT members. There are multiple new technology evolutions, not only limited to smartphone evolution, the smart devices, the AR, VR, that is one of the important business case for 5G. That's not possible without it. We have smart cities, which are coming up all over the world, are part of the 5G network. Then for industrial revolution, 4IR, everybody talks about it. The lighthouse networks are also very important to consider in the 5G networks. I'll not make you a bit bored over here going through the technical slides and discussing technical stuff. I'll pass by straight away certain parameters in terms of the economic contribution and the job generation, plus the number of 5G subscribers which we are expecting in the next 3 years. That figure is going to go up to 2 billion 5G subscriptions till 2025 and 26. If we compare the Asian countries with the rest of the world, that's also very important competitive analysis. Only in US, the market volume that is expected for the 5G technology inclusion is more than $700 billion. Same if we talk about Pakistan for the next 5 years, what we can see like it's approximately $6 to $7 billion that we can see like that can add to the national economy. And then it can take up the GDP to more than 5%, which is very good figures. In terms of job generations related to 5G networks and the 5G digital ecosystem, in the next 5 years, 250,000 new jobs, we can see like that can be created in Pakistan. It has a very huge impact, not only globally, but in Pakistan as well. Now I will say like, the business cases for 5G launch for most of the countries, it's a big challenge. We have seen like, certain countries in 2017-18, they launched the 5G networks. But they were facing a problem in terms of ROI, the the ARPUs. That was the initial challenge while launching 5G technology globally. Even in the Middle East and in Europe, where the fiber penetration is more than 60%, they were also facing the same challenge for the technology inclusion. My colleague mentioned about the optical fiber network and the role of OFC in the 5G network. That was very important. But we have to analyze that in detail, that 5G networks are not the competitor of optic fiber network. They basically complement, the optic fiber technology. Both are not in competition, by the way. Yes, we can see for launch of 5G network, optic fiber is pretty much required. I can tell you about Pakistan, we have approximately 13% of the optic fiber which are connected to the towers and the sites. And overall, the figure is 56,000 BTS towers, these which are currently live in Pakistan. So launching 5G, we have the spectrum harmonization and spectrum availability that is already in place. But before the successful commercial launch of 5G network, it's very important to understand as we speak today, the business cases, the revenues, and the ARPUs for the industry. I'll give a bit of brief about, the policy and the regulations since we are talking about over here. And while launching any technology in any country, what we see in Pakistan over here is we have three vertical pillars we focus on before formulating any policy in Pakistan. The first vertical pillar are the citizens of Pakistan. The second one, the industry and the economic growth. And the third one is the government of Pakistan while formulating any regulation and policy. By the way, Pakistan is a deregulated telecom market that was done in 2004, long time back. Since the 5G technology is ahead of us for launching, the same challenges we faced by all the networks which were launched in different countries. We have studied almost 165 different networks that were launched all over the world. And most of the networks, as we see today, face the same challenge. How to monetize the 5G networks? Launching shall not be that much challenging. Monetization, return on investment for investors and the CMOs, as well as the ARPUs are very important before considering the successful launch of the 5G networks. There are 10 business cases which we have identified and globally identified for the successful launch, and the startups that we produce in Pakistan. We recently had the 5G testbed complete ecosystem being deployed in Pakistan in collaboration with the academia in one of our university. And that is live for development of the business cases in Pakistan. I'll briefly discuss, 5 to 10 business cases over here that can be very vital before considering the launch of networks. But since these business cases are evolving on day-to-day basis, specifically for the countries like Pakistan, where there is a digital divide and the subscription for 4G subscribers is growing very fast with a pace of approximately 1.5 million subscription every month. It's important we do have underserved and unserved areas as well, that we are bridging the gap as of today. For that, the first business case that evolved for a country like Pakistan is the FWA. Apart from the one which we're going to discuss that, but FWA is pretty much vital for the commercial launch of all the network CMOs in Pakistan. That can provide a direct connectivity to all the users, not only in the dense urban or urban environment, but here the focus is also the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. I mean to say the unserved and the underserved areas. that can also be digitally included for the economic scale-up of any country, including Pakistan. Some of the business cases and the ecosystem being developed already all over the world are related to media and entertainment, specifically the gaming and the animation industry, which also relates to augmented and the virtual reality, is scaling up very fast and has a huge potential. Apart from that, everybody probably have heard of autonomous vehicles that has been produced, that has been in trial in different countries, even in the Middle East, and even in European countries, like they've already started that. That is one exclusive business case for the 5G autonomous vehicles as well. Apart from the Lighthouse network, which is industrial automation. Recently, with the collaboration of Pakistan Telecommunication Authority, we have opened a regime of IoT in Pakistan for which multiple companies and the enterprises have gained the IoT licenses. The purpose was to establish the business and the commercial cases for the 5G networks in Pakistan. That's going to help specifically for smart homes, industrial automation, robotics, and lighthouse networks. The cost of production in terms of industries, that is something where the OPEX being drained and the exports are being challenged. By the introduction of IoT technology, that particular operation cost of industries can be reduced in Pakistan to scale up the exports. The important factor that is good to consider over here is the availability of the 5G devices. Everybody talks about, let's say, let's launch 5G networks. But we need to see the affordability, like either the customers can afford it in terms of device, in terms of tariffs, that's very important. Just in 2 years' time, I'll give you the accurate figures. Like in Pakistan, with the help of PTA and through the policy deadline device manufacturing, 31 licenses for smart device manufacturing were given to different companies, including the bigger names, Samsung, Xiaomi, are in operation. And the annual production in the first year was 25 million devices in Pakistan domestically produced and manufactured. Out of that, there are certain units producing 5G devices and smart devices in Pakistan. And as we speak today, the 5G device penetration in Pakistan is approximately 5% of the overall ecosystem, which is a very positive figure, by the way. Otherwise, if the users cannot afford the device, it's very expensive. If you see, certain brands, iPhones and other 5G expensive brands all over the world. So, per capita income and affordability is one of the main factors that needs to be considered before launching any 5G network in any of the country, including our neighboring countries as well. After the device, some important business cases that are evolving are related to agri-tech. We started to have, the automation of agriculture system in terms of pesticide control. I'll just brief one thing, like last year we had the locust attack from certain countries, and that got a bit out of control, specifically in the areas of Balochistan and in southern Punjab as well. There we control through drones technology, by spraying, the locust attack that was very huge, and that had a direct impact on agriculture. So these are some business cases we tried in Pakistan. Apart from providing the air fiber that can easily provided to rural areas, and that that can scale up, the digital ecosystem for the IT and IT products development. I'll not take much of the time because my fellow colleagues are also here. But 5G is an entirely different ecosystem, not comparable to the 1G, 2G, and the 3G evolution, and the current 4G technology that we are seeing. It's a completely different commercial, business, and technology ecosystem that needs to be developed and has a huge potential for our 60% of the population, which is youth. And if we properly focus in that direction, I'm sure like within 4 to 5 years, that can add a very good contribution in the national economy as well as in the GDP. Thank you, Khalid sir, and thank you, my colleagues, for giving this opportunity. Quite appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.